Good evening and thank you for joining us here on the News at 10. We've heard from Bob Geddes and Jim Jones a few times in our 7 Investigate series into the Idaho Freedom Foundation and its influence on Idaho politics. These two hope to be influential as well. Geddes was Senate President pro tem from 2000 to 2011, the longest lawmaker to hold that role. Jim Jones was former Chief Supreme Court Justice. The two disagreed on some things when they were both serving the state, but now they agree on a lot. They're part of a new PAC made up of very prominent veteran state leaders. A PAC raises and spends money to elect and defeat candidates. Well, Morgan Romero talked to the faces of Take Back Idaho.
In the last decade, there has been a lot of divisiveness, a lot of pandering, and not much policy making, trying to do things to make the lives of Idahoans better. And it has gotten consistently worse in the last several years. And it's a tragedy, I think. Quite frankly, that's why I decided I'm going to do what I can do.
That meant forming the Take Back Idaho Political Action Committee late last year, mostly created to take Idaho back from extremists and, quote, the grip of the Idaho Freedom Foundation, its partner organizations, and their acolytes in the GOP legislative ranks.
I think we want people to become aware of some of the dynamics that are occurring in the legislature.
You know, the Freedom Foundation is dedicated to doing away with public schools, which consequently is a violation of the Idaho Constitution. We've got people from the conservative side to the moderate side who have joined the Take Back Idaho Committee,
including former leaders of the Idaho House and Senate, a former Secretary of State, educators, ranchers and farmers, and veteran GOP officers.
Why do you think your past experience, your past history in our state government led you to this point?
The civility has left the process. There's a lot of pressure on legislators now, especially coming from the Idaho Freedom Foundation, to comply with their demands or else fail to get a high index score from their process. And to me, that's detracted a lot from what legislators really are elected to do, and that is to represent their constituency, not a lobbying organization.
I think there's a lot of fear involved in it, and they have a leg up because we've got a closed primary system here in Idaho.
The group believes the closed Republican primary adopted 11 years ago allows the most extreme candidates to get on the general election ballot. The group says to Take Back Idaho, they'll educate Idahoans on identifying and combating dangerous extremism and misinformation. They want to boot who they view as far-right extremists out of the legislature. Their goal is to get, quote, responsible candidates elected in primaries who will focus on real issues like infrastructure and who support public education. Secretary of State campaign finance reports show the PAC has raised about $45,000 so far. They plan to spend campaign money on coaching and supporting their candidates.
And what we intend to do is to try to clean out some of the legislators who are causing difficulties and refusing to address the kinds of problems that Idahoans face every day. I think they support chaos and dysfunction.
Well, Idahoans generally want a conservative level of government. They want the least amount of government possible. And it's a fine line between that and I think what the Freedom Foundation is pushing for. You know, they don't want to improve government. They want to burn it down and then rebuild it the way they want.
Why should anybody watching this story care?
I hope at the end of the day that this effort makes a difference in people's lives, to demonstrate to them how important it is that they don't just passively accept anything that happens within their government.
I emailed the Idaho Freedom Foundation to get their take on the new PAC. They said no comment.
Again, the Freedom Foundation would not do an on-camera interview for this story either. And if you missed any of our 4-part series, you can catch all of them at ktvb.com.